Chris Brown is going to tell us about Shah Rukh Khan is stealing his wife.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Thank you. So, I always find the best way to end an evening is talking about another man trying to steal my wife. I don't know about yourselves. But it's a genuine problem for me personally. My wife is really obsessed by one man. And this man is incredibly... Well, we're going to go into how important he is. This is him. As you can see, this is... Hang on. So this is me versus the man she tells you not to worry about. I'm fucking worried, lads. I won't lie to you. So, does anyone know him? I knew you would. I saw you speak at the start, and I thought, oh, fucking hell, somebody's going to. Does anybody else? Fucking brilliant, because this means this will work. Okay, so, the thing about Shah Rukh Khan is that he is massive, right? He's got nicknames, which is always important. He is the Bashar of Bollywood, the King of Bollywood, and King Khan, which for me is a terrible fucking last one to finish on, but that's what they call him. It's like, you know, I could be like Big Brown, but no one wants to be called Big Brown, do they? King Khan's the same. Okay, so I've got 2,000 Twitter followers, which I was really keen about, and then I saw how many he's got, and it's 24 million. And you suddenly think to yourself, Jesus fucking Christ, I mean, how many, like, he's huge. And one of the reasons why he's huge is the fact that he comes from quite humble origins. So he was originally on TV, and he was like, you know what, I don't really want to do film because I don't think I'm good enough. And then his mother died, and he said, I need to change my life. So he got into films. And when he got into films, he got into, he originally started out being a bit of a bad guy. That's partly because he's from Pakistani origin, but partly because of the fact that he took the jobs he could get. And then he became an anti-hero and a star, and it was working okay for him. There's no actual comments or notes for this. It's just to prove how beautiful he is. But that was like the early 90s, and then he's really consistent. He's consistent all the way through his career. He basically bangs out like maybe 4 films a year, and these are like each one. I mean, obviously some are hits and some are flops, and people who think, you know, the hits are huge, and people kind of go, oh, is his star fading now? It's a flop. But the reality of it is, he has 1 billion fans in the world. 1 billion. Now, when I say a fan, you kind of think, well, yeah, but 24 million on Facebook. Like, actual people that think he's amazing, 1 billion. So that's like, what, 1/7 of the population? And when you get down to it, 3.2 billion people know who Shah Rukh Khan is. But in this room, it's Pryor. Now, that is fucking insane. Absolutely insane. And obviously, you know, Kenny thinks, well, yeah, but maybe he's a bit crap. He has a Wikipedia page just for his awards, for nothing else. You know, like, you know, you might have like a full thing. His Wikipedia page for his awards is longer than his actual biography. That's how famous he is. So, and again, this is why we're getting to this. I'm kind of glad you didn't know who he was, because why isn't he big there here? And I think that's an interesting question, because it doesn't make a lot of sense, because, I mean, again, beautiful. A very talented man. Incredibly talented, and he does a lot of different things. So he plays a lot of different roles. I think that's fair to say. So he does a bit of action, does a bit of comedy, some musicals. He does lots of different stuff. And I think one of the reasons why he's so popular in India and this whole swathe of Asia is although he doesn't look like it in that picture, he's actually seen as quite of an everyman. He's we were talking about Tom Cruise. Listening to Tom Cruise before. He's a bit like Tom Cruise, but not massively fucking weird. I think that's fair to say. So this is Ravi Devana's Jodi, which is like he plays 2 characters in it, well, 2 different personalities. One which is like kind of like an IT geek, and one which is like the most horrific person in the world, and people love it. So why then? And now that makes it sound like I'm going to say, oh, it's because of Hollywood. But it's not because of Hollywood. In actual fact, what he wants to do is make it an Indian film that the world loves, rather than run to Hollywood and kind of do some in India and some in Hollywood. And I respect that so much. But what I do think one of the reasons is the fact that there's loads of his films on Netflix, and I totally recommend you go. It's just, you can just go on your app and search it and see his stuff. But because Netflix basically said, you like Gilmore Girls, have loads of Gilmore Girls. Or actually not, fuck that, just like loads of fucking Netflix originals, because that's all they're pushing now. There he is again, look at him. Amazing. Sorry, it's just a joke to keep on coming back to. But I think that's my wife, who isn't here tonight. And I think it's important to tell you why. Because she's saying she's busy and stuff like that, but we all fucking know why. It's because she's on Netflix right now, watching Shah Rukh Khan films. I don't know what to do. Thanks very much.